Welcome back to episode 29, everybody. We got the Waka Sulu hanging in the background. So if you guys want to grab some merch or some apparel, just hop online to wakafarms.com/store. What I want to talk about tonight, though, to start, was, you know what I just realized, actually, was that we had an employee, who's now an ex-employee, actually, who had to move to the city because she has to get another job.
Okay.
And because her husband can't afford, her husband moved overseas, like, how many years ago?
Oh, okay. So let's explain this situation. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Fresh Tea and Coffee in Sanganga is not the busiest place in the world.
Yeah.
We do really well for Sanganga, but it's so small. I think we've said this in other podcasts. It's not like the money-making business of our dreams, but it's there to support community, right?
Well, that's why we do it.
That's why we're doing it. However, financially,
I always tell everybody it would be weird for us to like go and talk about like, oh, coming back to your roots, and then like just not doing anything where your roots are.
Yeah.
Like it feels like I have to do this here.
You have to.
Yeah.
I agree.
Before we take it to the big city.
And even like when we have like things going, like I'm always like, keep it open. I just want that there. And so with our staff, we made the decision because we're not that busy to cut down to one staff a day. And we had to lay off a few people. And they were lovely, but they were not as good as being versatile in the front as the back. And some people could handle both. And so we had to make that strategic decision to keep those people. Mm-hmm. I think everybody understood. You know, in a great way. We still love those people, and they're still helping us this upcoming week.
All right, so many excuses.
It's not an excuse. I'm explaining.
It's okay. You had to lay some people off because they didn't perform as well as other people, so you kept the good people.
We still have a good relationship. They're still coming to help us this week.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
giving like context.
Okay.
That's what that is.
I felt like you were scared to say that you had to lay somebody off.
I wasn't like, I fired them and they sucked. I
love
them.
They're awesome people.
And like, whatever. Anyway, one of the ladies that we had to let go, she was working like a few hours a week for us when we needed extra help. She was living right behind the store. We said, if we need extra help, can we call you? She was so gracious and just coming in and helping us. But her husband is working overseas. He's in New Zealand?
Yeah.
He's working at a butchery.
A butcher.
A butcher. I think you call it a butchery.
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
I think you did.
It's a butcher.
Okay. Correct us in the comments.
I'm on my way to the butchery to meet the butcher. You don't say that. Where'd you get your meat? At the butchery? What?
And you meet the butcher.
It's like, sounds like where you go and like.
I think I'm right. I'm going to
see
Google
a bunch
it
of lesbians.
after this podcast. I'm Googling and I'm going to be like, suck it. I was right.
I don't know, dude.
It's going to happen. Anyway, so her husband's there and he's not making enough money to support her to just stay at home with her kids here. And so she's had to move to the city to get a job. Because prior, when she was working for us, she was making an income to support her children here. So what is the point of her husband not being with the family if he's not making enough money in New Zealand for her to be a full-time mom?
He's been there for like, what did you already say it? I don't know. I think it's like 3 to 5 years.
I'm offended for her.
Yeah, that like he would, not that they haven't agreed to this as a couple.
Yeah.
And maybe we're wrong for like looking at other people and judging, but we're podcasting, so give us a break. We need something to talk about over here. It was just like, so what's the point? Like if your wife has to work full time so that she can pay $200 of rent a month. Yeah. Like why leave? Because when they were here, like he was working full time and she was staying at home. Yeah. Raising the kids. Now he left. He's out of the scene. Now his son and daughter haven't, been raised by him for like the last half decade. And now his wife also has to like go and work full time somewhere
to provide for her children.
It's just like, what are we doing with and I'm saying this because not because of them in particular, because I feel like there's a lot of families in this situation. There's even some families in this village where there's like people that are overseas, people in my clan that like, they have to like go and like scrounge around and like, go sell stuff at the market, and like the husband's overseas because otherwise they won't have enough money to, send their kids to school. And it's like, well, what's their point?
And I'm hoping
Like,
that
stay together as a family.
I'm hoping that what they're hoping for, because I haven't talked to them, is that she's going to work towards moving there. As well.
I think that's usually what it is.
I think that's what it is. And she's beautiful. She's such a lovely lady. And I think, like, I look at that situation and go, okay, within, like, a marital couple, they've had discussions that we're not a part of, obviously. So they have a plan. But when you look from the outside, you're like, I think for us, we just go, why are you not together? Like,
I think that maybe that's just because we're biased in the way that we view like what a marriage should be like, and that is being together.
Yeah.
Which is why we're in Fiji even.
Yeah, so true.
Because like
you could just be here and I could be there.
Yeah, that'd be misery.
Having my Starbucks.
I do well though long distance. Better than you.
You're the worst. He is the worst. He's the most needy long distance human being ever.
What are you talking about?
I love you, but you call me way too much when we're apart.
Really?
I'm just living my life.
Yeah, you don't really want to talk to me when we're not.
And you're just calling me, and I'm like, I'm at the movies, or I'm like talking to my family, and I love you.
Yeah.
But like, I'm living.
I'm here. I'm laying in bed, just thinking about you.
I am terrible. I am a terrible wife, long distance. If you ever are long distance from me, you will be miserable. Just stay with me.
That's true.
That's your curse. You're stuck with me.
That's true.
So together forever. And then we'll fight when we're together, but we'll just, let bygones be bygones.
No, we don't fight.
Yeah, never.
We should
daily. Poor Tui, like our content managers, has to listen to us like
always fighting with each other.
And then just like letting it go. It's our superpower.
I have an advice here.
Okay.
Ready?
What?
So I just found out what my cousin is naming her baby. So
I love this one already.
Why do you love it?
I love it because I have such an opinion on this. I can't wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can you have an opinion on it?
I do. I love when people tell me their baby names, and like I have a lot going through my head. I would never.
You're the reason why people don't tell people their baby names.
I know, but I would never say it to them. I would just like play it out, and then I'll come to you and be like, John, oh my gosh, you know what they named their baby? Oh no.
Yeah, don't tell your baby names to Steph.
Or I'll be like, beautiful baby, it's great. It could go either way. 50-50.
So my cousin, who's 26 years old, she just had her baby boy a few days ago, and she's having his baptism done tomorrow.
Oh, no. I'm not
That's
Catholic,
quick.
but
That's
too
Catholic?
early.
Okay.
Must be. I'm sorry. Catholics have their babies baptized, which is up to them.
It's cool.
But like a few days after birth, chill. The kid's fine. Like just sprinkle the water a little later.
It's true. It's like taking your car, your brand new car to the car wash for the first time.
2 days later, it's like, bro, it's brand new. It has
So today
nothing.
I went out and ran into another relative, and she told me that my cousin has decided a name for the baby, and it's Loveda. But when you pronounce it, it sounds like a slang in Hindi, which is loosely translated to mean male genitalia.
Oh, no. No.
So basically, the name is written as Loveda, but pronounced here as the Hindi slang. So a little context about my cousin. She doesn't speak Hindi and mainly grew up in our little town, so there's no way for her to know about it. And she plans to eventually go to the city for her husband's job. I'm afraid that the kid might get bullied a lot in his life. I tried talking to my mom and grandpa, and they both think that we should not tell them because it might cause a rift in the family. What should I do? Should I let it be?
Rift. Break the news. That poor child's life is ahead of them. If you are all like a Hindu speaking family, you don't think at least within the family they're going to be like not the joke? Like all the adults are just snickering in the background and like, you don't do that to your kid. And if the adult is ignorant to that, you just be like, hey, you know what? The name means this in Hindi. If you care about that, don't name your kid that. If but if you don't care, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Mm.
But I just wanted to like let you know and then just leave it there. And it's okay. Either way, I just thought you should be informed.
You should just stick with Bible names. Because Bible names are just always safe.
Are they?
Well, aren't they? Like, have you ever seen a name in the Bible that's like, that's
I
funny.
would say, like, I'm not naming my kid, like, Habakkuk.
Yeah, but that's not anything.
That's a name in the Bible. You can't just be like,
Yeah, but it's not dirty.
it's not dirty.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, what's the worst name you've ever heard for a child to be named?
Probably Shathid.
Yeah. So, like, Shathid is a very nice name in other languages or cultures. But when you
But if you split the name up between
English, in an English classroom, when the teacher is trying to figure out what your name is, and they're like SHIT,
HEAD.
HEAD, and they're like, hey, is little, excuse my language if you don't want to hear this, close your ears. Hey, is little shithead in the room right now? And the kid's like, looking around like, I don't know, is he? And then they're like, say it again. And then the kid's like, oh my gosh, that must
Awkward.
be me. That's not okay for your child. You have
It's
to
like that
look.
Key and P episode. Key and Peele. They're like,
You just gotta be careful.
Aaron.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew so many
I was trying
people
to think
with
of a name
like
for
the
that.
name Aaron, and it's AARON.
Yeah.
And Aaron. Terrible
It's Aaron.
name.
It's Aaron.
It's Aaron, but
Yeah.
it's AA.
That's how Aaron's spelled in the Bible.
Yeah, but like, fix the spelling, guys.
Oh, come on.
You don't have to do that to anybody. And
So-
then, no, just wait. Just wait. We're not done with
No, I'm
this.
not. I'm just trying to address the situation. We're not talking about Shathid.
No, we're not. I'm just saying, like, you got to go through the names, even with our children. I went through the names, okay? My father even said to me, because Eliki is a Fijian version of Alexander, okay? If you break it down and you just shorten it, because people in Western cultures love to shorten names.
Leaky.
It's leaky. Within English, it's not maybe like you could be teased, right?
Potentially.
Potentially.
Your name's funny too, though.
We did think of it. We did think of it, and we went, okay, but it's not that bad. You'll get through that teasing. Like, it's not like an annihilation name. And then when we named Eliki, I said, well, we can't name like Eliki and then have like James. You have to at least like give both
Match it.
kids like the same cultural name. You can't just give
Yeah,
one
that's
like
true.
a Fijian name and the other one an English name.
Yeah.
And lucky too, because our first kid's brown and the other one's white. They're different already. So if we gave them very different.
I remember when they were
cultural
born,
names-
people would like walk up to you and be like, "Hey, who's the dad?"
Oh yeah, like when you had Seva on your shoulders when he was a baby, I always remember thinking like, dude, you don't look like his father. Other than like the nose part when he was a baby, like Aliki and him had some of the same structural.
Right.
Like you have really heavy eyebrows and they had the same nose and they have my nose, but they had the same nose, and then they have like your
I do not have
deep
heavy
lip
eyebrows.
V. You have very heavy eyebrows. It looks nice. It's not a bad thing. Leaky has very heavy eyebrows and Seva has a heavy brow. It's okay.
So what should this person do then?
Oh, we're giving advice.
Well-
Tell the friend. I already said that. Tell them. And then,
Yeah?
yeah,
It's a cousin.
tell them.
So it's not a friend. They could like lose the family, you know?
You could lose the family after the fact when kids are teasing, be like, I thought that for years. And they're like, how dare you not tell me? Nobody told me. You guys suck. If I was a parent and I lived in like a culture of that like language and then nobody told me, I'd be mad. Like, you guys just let me do that? How dare you?
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. Tell the cousin.
Tell the cousin.
Should we do one more?
One more.
Okay. How would you respond to a neighbor who asks you not to walk in front of their house? So, long story short, this person walks by this person's house in the morning, and this lady's dog always barks at him, apparently,
Okay.
from the yard. I guess, like, dude, when I was in Suva last week, there's some dogs there. Like, a lot of dogs.
And did you see how much poop was on the road that
No,
you stayed on?
I stayed in a really nice part of town, so there was no poop in the road.
It was fine, but like the amount of dog poop there, because I stayed there before, the house is fine. The house is great. Actually, I really like it. But the street that it's on is just, you can't even barely walk.
No, it
through
wasn't like that at all when I was there.
Oh, well,
I didn't see a single poo. So, anyways, this lady has
just
like
blind, just his flip flops just covered in excrement. Nobody can hear that. That's the thing.
this lady has asked this guy to not walk in front of her house because her dog barks. This is ironic.
Our dog is howling at the moon right now. I don't know if you can hear it. I listened to the last podcast. It's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah.
Tui
It's
thinks he can
ridiculous.
hear it.
He's a big Rottweiler, and he just decides to start howling at the moon. He's embracing it like his inner canine, I guess. His wolf. Dude, I would tell this lady to shove it.
What?
Don't walk by my house. My dog barks at you.
Don't walk by my house.
Dude,
I would be disturbing that dog if someone said that to me. I would be trying to make that dog bark.
Oh, yeah.
I would be just like pots and treats and all the things just every day, just planning the route to walk. And then I would back up, go back to my house, and then like walk it one more time just for kicks. Because that is so rude. And I could not help myself.
I'd be tempted to harm the dog.
Why?
So that I could get to the lady and then harm her.
No, that's messed up.
Is it?
No. I reject that answer. You're not actually allowed to say that.
Harm her with words, okay?
What kind of answer is that?
Well, he needs to,
You better defend that.
What?
You can't say that.
No?
Well, number one, why would you harm the dog? It's barking. Ooh.
Yeah, but evil owner. Evil dog.
No, the dog is barking. Walk by like 1,000 times and you will feel great about yourself. Just all day for like an hour, back and forth, back and forth. And
just stand in front of there?
You'll just be like...
Just the plyometrics workout in the driveway?
Smile and then do a bell or something and be like... Just be a psycho. That's better than what you said.
Than assault?
Yes. I feel like you need to backtrack that.
No. I stand by it. There's some bad people in the world.
20 years down the road, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, I regret saying that.
It's very serious.
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't mean it. John can hurt a fly. Actually, last week, this is interesting. Have you guys ever accidentally
Dude, I kick my dog every day.
No, you do not. You're like a big child and jumping around with the dog. Come chase me, play with me. Yeah, definitely not.
My dog is like my son.
Okay, not quite there, but...
Ew. Actually, okay.
Okay, let me tell my thing. Okay, so last week we were testing out the roti machine that we have, and the guys were playing around, and then John took a roti and slapped me in the face with it. Jokingly, lightly. Not in a way that I was like, oh my gosh, I've been assaulted. But my reaction was to assault him back. I had a roti in my hand, and I just freaking backhanded him with the roti. And I kind of paused for a second.
That's abuse.
And I was like, oh! I really slapped you. And then Croy was there and he was laughing hysterically. But it was just an instant reaction. You slapped me and so I didn't even think about it.
It's like the tortilla challenge.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it. Once I was just like, oh, right in your face. And then you took it good. Because I had a moment of please don't be angry.
Yeah, because I don't usually like being slapped and kicked and stuff.
I'm sure. So I got worried for a second, but it was just a natural reaction of I got slapped in the face and then I was like, no, sir. But it was a good thing Croy was there to calm. But he thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then you guys were trying to convince me to do that stupid
tortilla challenge. Yeah. It's kind of come and gone though. It's a bit late.
I would never do it.
Why?
It would actually just make me angry.
Oh, really?
I don't think I could be slapped in the face.
No, but the whole point is that you both fill your mouth full of water. So you're like that.
Yeah.
And then you take turns. And the first person.
How hard are you slapping my face?
Oh, dude, hard.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'll slap you so hard.
You're so much stronger than me.
Oh, dude. I might even get a little noko or
Yeah, I don't want to be slapped. Actually, I will say, have you ever seen those okay, it's not like UFC, but it's the slap challenge where they
No, slap league is by UFC.
Slap league. Oh, I didn't know that. I would do that. I think that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, you just want to get traumatic brain injury?
Not for a guy, like a girl. That's
that's traumatic brain injury. Dude, open hand slap, just lining up on each other.
Open hand slap by a chick is bearable.
Dude, if I get my palm on your cheekbone.
You're a dude. I'm not. Dude. I don't want you to open hand slap me. If a girl did it, it's a different level. If you did it,
I would finish you.
Yes, and so that's why I'm saying.
Oh, dude, some of these guys are so big too, 400 pounds and
and you're also probably slapping within your weight class. You're not leveling up.
No, there's some small guys against some big guys.
Really?
Yeah. But the reason why slap fight works so well, the slap fight league, is because it's so short and you don't need to know anything about it. You don't need to know the rules of MMA or jiu-jitsu or wrestling or like what's a single or a double leg takedown. Why is that called a Kimura? It's like,
I feel like
my open hand to your face and then your open hand to my face, and whoever gets knocked out wins.
I feel like if I had a mouth guard, that'd be good.
Dude.
It kind of reminds me like my dad.
Should we do this right now?
Tells.
Just like live?
Oh,
no.
Oh. No. Okay. Yeah.
I'm joking.
Okay, reminds me of a story my dad used to tell me all the time when I was a kid about this like really big guy that he grew up in.
Oh yeah.
And they were in.
No, what makes it better is as a big native guy. Okay. I'll say it.
All right. It was a big native guy, and he used to go out to bars, and he would like punch people out. He got in fights at the bars, and the police like arrested him. And if he punched anybody else out, he was going to go to jail. So instead, when he would go to bars, he would open hand slap people, but still knock them out.
Well, no, it's because the police said that like if he used the closed
fist,
fist, that
people,
he would be jailed.
Yeah.
And so instead of using a closed fist, he used the sweaty, open face palm of his hand on your face and just knock guys out.
Yeah, he would still knock people out.
The reason why I make it so good is because like I can just picture this guy, big native guy, just walking in and just like his just like long silky black hair, just like so gentle, and then just being like, and just destroying your life.
This is definitely back in the day because no police officer now would be like, sir, if you if you have a closed fist, you'll go to jail. If you have an open hand, it's fair game.
It's so true.
Now it's like scratch someone with your pinky nail and you're probably going to jail.
So we have a big week coming up next week. Oh
yeah.
How are you feeling about it? I know we were talking about it a bit over dinner tonight.
I finally feel okay about it. I have felt really worried about it for the last I don't know how long we've been planning it now. We've had
zero time.
We've had very little notice.
Okay, here's why it's a big deal is because it's for people who don't understand. It's because it's 7,000 people that are coming mainly from the other island, all Seventh-day Adventists, of which I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist. I believe in Jesus and appreciate that he sent his son to die on the cross for us, but I don't know where they all stand. They seem to be pretty hardcore about the Sabbath day being Saturday and stuff like that. So whatever, take a day off. But they're also coming from around the Pacific, and so it's 7,000 people converging on our town of 3,000 people.
Yeah,
and they're there for a week, and we're the only vendors on site,
which is nuts because we went out to tour the campsite. And they just recently bulldozed it all. And we're in the middle of rainy season. So if any of you saw what happened at Burning Man in the USA.
Oh, yeah.
This year, they had a flash flood and a national crisis. And we're kind of this could be the same thing in St. Gunga, but just on a smaller scale. But for the population, same. It's the same thing. So I'm a little bit worried with all the mud. And then also because we went out and toured the campsite, and I said, okay, what other stores? Are there other stores coming out? They said, no, it's just you. So that is a little worrisome for us, just because obviously if we say we're going to do something, we want to do it well. But there is 7,000 people, and we are
the only store. So picture just a canteen, if for those of you who maybe just go to Bible camp overseas or something like that. But the thing is that this is a canteen. The camps that you go to are 400 kids max.
Yeah,
max
400-500 maybe if you're on a good season.
And so this is gonna be freaking insane.
Yeah, they're splitting them up into 12 camps, and so
in each camp there's 500 kids.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they bring a lot of their own supplies.
I don't even understand the scale of this.
Well, if what they say, and from what we've seen of the infrastructure, it's true.
Yeah.
But if it's that many people, I'm terrified for them if they haven't brought their own supplies, because they will forget supplies, and I hope that's what we're there for. And I hope we're there for the fresh produce, because we can get that from the market.
Yeah.
But if they bring nothing and they're going to rely solely on us, I'm scared for them because they should have been planting like a year ago.
Yeah, we could have definitely had it coordinated, but we would have needed to have like the entire half island planted.
Well, and interestingly enough, like I was talking to John's uncle today. I was taking him into the hospital for a blood test.
Oh.
And he was saying to me that they've been planning this for multiple years. And they're just now executing on it in the last few months.
Yeah.
And that is
So
mind-boggling.
you have a camp with 7,000 people, and we just been notified 4 weeks max, 3.5 weeks about
and then we got the
online
confirmation that we got told about it. We got like, hey, maybe you guys could do this. And we're like, that's cool, but like we're not putting our money in until we get told like, heck yes. And then we just got told last week that like, yeah, okay,
it's for sure.
It's a for sure. We want to see you come see the camp. So we saw that like maybe, I don't know, 6 days ago. And now we're like, what day's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have to set up by Sunday. And they start the camp Tuesday. And we're moving the entire coffee shop other than like the furniture over.
Yep.
And so that, yeah.
So we've basically just been scrambling around trying to find capital.
Yeah.
So we can purchase.
Yeah. So John's parents are helping us out with it because we can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're spending, I think we should talk about this and see how it goes. Like when
we're
going to spend roughly between like, I think $13,000 to $14,000 on the entire thing. That's nowhere near what we should be spending. And even if you see like our mini market, it's pathetic. But our coffee shop needs so much stocking that that's a lot of the budget because we can't provide that much pizza without a lot of money in the background. So the good thing is...
I don't... Like, you need $1 million in capital if you're going to buy everything. Oh. That they would need for the whole camp.
Yeah. But there's no guarantee that they haven't brought most of their stuff. We have no guarantees. So we're kind of like, this is risky. And it's kind of like, we keep talking to each other, like, what's the financial threshold here? Like, how much stress or pressure? And, like, there's no guarantee we make it back. So we really could be screwing ourselves over in this. We could be doing this for them and then just getting kicked in the face.
Oh, dude, okay.
We could become next time if we podcast and I have no teeth because I've just been banging my face against the wall, it's because we lost that much money.
Or you competed in a slap fight contest.
Yeah, or I competed in a slap fight contest. We don't know.
You never know. Because you really want to do it, apparently.
I just like, I watch it and I'm like,
you're a freak.
I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be the one who like you can practice on.
You're right. You would just like freaking lose your mind. You could not handle that. You'd be so mad by the end of it.
Yeah, sure. I get triggered by that.
Yeah.
So the other day, our ice machine conveniently breaks down right before this whole event.
Yeah.
So it's looking like it might get fixed. But okay, this is funny. I go to the ice plant the other day to try to buy ice because we still need it at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be hard to like get ice for the event because there's a bunch of huge ice plants that can fill up like 20-foot containers in an evening. But I go to this one,
but
and their ice machine is shut down.
And
they have a bunch of freezers that they're not using. And I was like, oh, this guy is like so angry. Like, you know, some people in stores are just like angry.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he's the attendant who's like working there.
He's mad.
He's just mad. He's like, who's parked here? And like, because I parked in open space in front of the shop, but apparently that's for the boss. And it's like, well, there's no pylons out. I parked because I wanted to like come and spend money and buy ice from you. And he's just like out there, like we're just standing there. He's like, whose vehicle is this? And I'm like, Karoy has his Waka hat on. He's standing beside me, and the truck has like a huge logo on it.
Yeah.
And he like looks at the hat, and he like looks at Karoy, and he's like, "Is you guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You have to move." I'm like, "Oh, we want to buy ice." No ice. I'm like, "Okay, that's okay. Are you using this freezer?" No, it's off. I'm like, "Okay, can I rent it? Like for 1 week?" He's like, No. I was like, "Can I talk to the boss?" He's like, No, this one is not for rent. This is for us. I'm like, "What if I want to give you guys $5,000 for a week?" He's like, No. Move your van. I'm like, dude, I was like fully straight faced. I'm like, "But if I give you $5,000 for the week, will you rent it?" He's like, No. Go, take your van and go.
And you didn't like tell him off?
No.
Oh, dude.
I just thought it was funny.
You don't want me in town. Like today, I freaking told some guy off.
Oh.
I was pulling into the parking lot. I'm a little stressed.
Oh, classic.
You said that? And I was like, no, that's any sane person.
Okay.
I'm a sane person, and I can't deal with insane people. I'm pulling into a parking lot. I'm like pulling out to back in. And as I'm pulling out, this guy rips into the like small parking lot and squeezes past me by like an inch. And he's ripping. And I'm so mad because it is such a tight parking lot. And he's being such an idiot driver. And I took my time getting out, kind of thinking like, no, I don't want to confront him. Let him go out first.
It's driving. Don't get angry about driving.
No, I will. And then I got out. I couldn't help myself. I was like, you, stop driving like that. I just like told him off for like a couple minutes.
Couple minutes?
I did. I was so mad. No, I was raging.
Can you please give us all the words you used? 2 minutes? That's all you said. Come on. You can't talk to somebody for 2 minutes
yes,
while they're driving.
You can be like, because he asked me, what did I do wrong? And I was like, oh, let me tell you. He asked the wrong question. And then the security guard came up to me because he's lovely and he knows me well. And he's like, are you okay? I was so mad because, well, he almost hit your vehicle. And I feel like if the vehicle gets damaged, you're going to be mad at me. And I'm like, not my fault.
Yeah, be all your fault.
But I was so angry. Well, people just drive like insane madmen, and I can't handle it. And if some ICE guy told me, like, no ICE, I would just lose it. I don't have patience. You told me when I moved to Fiji, and like, I love Fiji, but I have like this climate adjustment. Like when I'm in Canada and then I come here, it takes me like a good month to get into like the patience zone that I need to live here. And John told me when we first moved here, he said, you need to have the patience of a saint to shop in Fiji or like be here. And I thought he was kidding. It is such a true statement. And when I'm like in Canada and I come back, it takes me a month to like chill. Because when I'm in Canada, you're like, give me my service. Where's my latte? If this takes 10 minutes, how dare you? Like, service is just so demanded. And here, if you're not like patient, you just lose your mind. It's so hard. Like one day I was trying to go into a unnamed store, won't name it. It was supposed to open at 9, and I was in a rush. Like I was such a time crunch. I was there at 8:50. The girl comes in at 9:10 and tries to shut the door on me so she could go open the store. And I like shoved my hand in the door and I'm like, no. It's 9:10. I have been waiting here for so long. I need to buy this item and leave. And she was mortified at me. And I just couldn't care. I was like, I need to buy a broom. But I was in a rush and I was like, I just need to buy the broom. Let me out of here and I will be out of your way. And she was like, you are such a horrible person. And I acknowledged I was in that moment, but I just had to leave. And I had just been in Canada recently. It was very hard for me to come back to like this long 20-minute wait. And I just didn't have the patience in me. And then I did regret it a little bit after. I just went like, you need to give yourself more time to like
just need to enjoy life more.
Function.
Why haven't you been enjoying life? Like, why are you so like all uptight and like angry? Not just having fun. Why don't you just have fun messing with people? Like, why don't you just pull like, what if I rented your freezer for $5,000 for a week?
I don't.
Like, why wouldn't you just do? Why don't you just have fun with people who just like want to be angry?
I don't find that fun. I can't. I'm not that person. I don't think that's funny.
Well, why wouldn't you just like turn your smile up or turn your frown upside down, make it a smile, or do that for somebody else? You
know what? I'm messed up. I'll be honest. It would make me feel better to tell that guy off than messing with him.
Really?
If I was like,
oh no,
I told him off and then I left, I'd be like, good, move on.
Dude, I will mess. Oh, remember that cop that pulled me over?
Okay, see, you do have like you're messed up deeply. I at least am like surface and you'll hear. Like all my messiness is out in the open. And I'm the least perfect person.
I'm psychological.
He will mess with you deeply. It's hard. Okay, so we went to go fill up a jug of water because we don't drink the village water because the spring is not clean. Yeah. And I don't know how people in our village drink it, and we still.
Hey, Water Authority, do your gerb. Do your gerb.
Yeah.
They took our gerbs.
Okay.
No? South Park?
Enough of that. But anyway, we don't drink it, so we fill it up at the Water Authority. And we were parked. We did something not great. We parked I don't know, like parallel
on the wrong side of the road
to
with my lights facing oncoming
Correct.
traffic while we were on the shoulder.
So that wasn't good of us.
Yeah, it was terrible. Put me
Right?
in jail, bro.
Well, there's
Life
lights.
sentence.
There's lights
Lock
shining
him
on
up.
oncoming traffic.
Isolation.
And so this police officer pulled up, and I went, oh, okay, shoot. I didn't realize. Like, we didn't notice it. We weren't doing it on purpose. And when
Yeah.
he came up, and he was like, John was out there filling up the water. He says, what's your name? And then what did you do?
Oh, I just asked him what his name was.
But how many times did you have to ask him?
It was probably 5 or 6, eh?
And I was sitting in the car, just like deeply cringing, like, John, just cooperate with the police officer, just like smooth it over. Like, our children are in the vehicle. Like, let's
Well,
just
because
go.
I just read or listened to something that said, like, if you're in like a really confrontational situation, like, make it awkward. Like, make them just be like,
Uncomfortable.
Are you a sociopath? Like, and so I was
Are
like,
you okay?
it was like, it seems like so weird to actually like say it out loud. It made more sense in the moment when you're trying to play mind games with people. But when he's like, what's your name?
But he came in, I will say, he came in very aggressively.
Oh, so hot.
It was kind of like a minor issue. I get it.
He was a cop on the way to work. He was in a civilian vehicle, and his friend like dropped him off like while he was going by. He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's your name?" He's like, "What's your name?" And I was like,
What's your name?
What's your name?
And this happened like 5 times.
What's your name? What?
As
I'm sorry.
As
What's your name?
wife sitting in the car.
Well, it's like it's better when you like answer at the same time. He's like, "What's your name?" He's like,
What's your name?
What's your name? And you're like, he's like, and then eventually he's like, Constable Narayan. And I'm
It
like,
was
or something like that. And I'm like, it's like, nice to meet you. My name's Jonathan. He's like, okay,
cringe.
why you park like that? I'm like, sorry, I was just getting some water. He's like, okay. And he just left. I could just see in his face. He's like, what the just happened?
It was just he came in so hot and so angry.
It was great.
And then when he left, he came in so uncomfortable. He was like, I don't want to be around this. Like, this is so uncomfortable. I would like to leave now. I felt the exact same way sitting in the vehicle. Dude. And then you got in, and I remember you saying, I've always wanted to try that. And I'm like, no. You get after me for being like, Steph, you get too stressed and all this stuff. But then I'm like,
dude, there's a lot of things I want to try.
I look at you with concern, deep concern. I'm like, dude.
I got more games. It's not
okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, what? You just don't want to mess with people.
I can't. I'd rather just be impatient. I try to like go through the day with a lot of patience. And then if just something is just unbearable, I don't have like a poker face. So there's no hiding it anyway. Like, I'm like.
She spent a lot of time in the hospital last like couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. So I took John's uncle in today.
That was something, the fun and games. Speaking of games.
No. Okay. So I took John's uncle in today for a blood test. And everybody in the blood bank knew him. His name, they read his name on the card and they went, oh, Caminelli, it's you. You're alive. Because for 3 weeks we were in the hospital. So I don't know if sometimes there's different scales for levels of things in different countries, but in Fiji, and I think this one's standard.
His blood was at a 4, where it should be at a 12 or 13.
That's right. So we went into the hospital where his blood level was.
What was he at
4.
today?
We don't know. We just went in. They took a blood sample. They'll get back to us.
Like
next week.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But anyway, so we went into the hospital because he complained about a headache and blurred vision. And we went and saw a private doctor because I didn't want to go to the public hospital. I thought that always takes like 5 hours to see a doctor. And like, I just want to see what's wrong. We'll just get an examination and kind of go from there. And so we went in, and the doctor we spoke with did not give us good advice. They took his blood pressure, which was at like 179. I can't remember the other number, but which is very high.
179 over 0.
No, it's not right. But
I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up.
But it's very high, and they say like 180 is crisis mode, like extreme crisis.
That's for sure. That's what. Yeah, well, 180 depends. I don't know.
And so I know in Canada these numbers are different, but his sugar is supposed to be between a 4 and a 7. His sugar was at a 15. And so I could see clearly something was wrong. And the doctor in the clinic said to me, has he had the flu after looking at those numbers? And I said, no, I think it's something to do with his pressure or sugar. I'm not a doctor, but like that must be what it's related to. He can't see. He's got a really bad headache. He said, you know what? I'll prescribe you some decongestants. And then, maybe that will help.
Idiot.
And so we left, we went to emergency. I talked to all my nurse friends and John's mom, who's a nurse. She's very helpful. So we went in and we got an x-ray. And he had a piece of bone in there that was rotting. And in his foot.
Just in there. He just had a piece of bone in there.
In there?
He just had a piece of bone in there. It's just rotten, It's just in there.
So anyway, last month,
where your rotten bones go.
Our uncle is diabetic and has pressure issues and has had one of his middle toe amputated already. And so we thought that more of the bone in
was
the
in
foot
there
has been rotten. So after the x-ray, the surgeon told us that we should amputate up to the knee. I
said take him at the hip, but
we had no other choice. And we have learned that through the years of kind of dealing with this stuff that we should proceed with caution. Okay. And so I said, well, what's kind of like best case scenario? What if we try and take one of his toes, or like kind of what can we do to limit the cutting of his body? And so we kind of came down to like, it's probably 2 toes that we need to take off. Okay. Meanwhile, he has the lowest amount.
Okay, I gotta say, if I'm gonna get all of anything removed, like on my body, like I've already had some things removed.
Okay.
Hashtag no elephant. But I would say I have to choose toes. Like if I'm gonna choose like part of my body to be removed.
Really?
I would say like a whole ear, no thank you. Like a whole nose, no. A whole like a finger, no.
I could do with no pinky. That's fine. I could actually do without probably these 2.
Dude, I would choose a toe over that.
So you can't walk properly?
No, you can walk properly. You only need is your outside toes, bro.
I'm giving up these 2, I think, before I just need this. I'm good.
Huh? No, I need I need all the fingers.
I just need this.
I need all of them.
No. No. Okay, so anyway, sorry, to continue along with this story. So we have a patient, our uncle, that has high blood pressure, diabetes, and they're wanting to chop off his entire leg. We say minimum, you're allowed to maybe chop off 1 toe and you can clean it and see what's going on. We were there for 12 hours in emergency room. And this is how the night went. We go in. I'm very fortunate to have a friend that knows a good doctor there. I search for him in the hospital. I tell him,
okay, you walk in, I'm the doctor.
I say, hi, I know you from church. I always see you wear the same checkered shirt. I recognize you. I didn't even see your face. I have an uncle. Can you please come and get an x-ray? We can't wait for hours. Like, I need a good doctor. So he comes. He actually only takes 15 minutes to come get us an x-ray. It was a miracle because I have been in there always, constantly.
Dude, you're not letting me role play the doctor here.
Oh.
So you come up to the doctor. You're like, do your thing, You're looking for the doctor, and I'm.
I like your shirt. Can you give me an x-ray?
Oh, nice to meet you.
We went to church together.
Sorry.
It's not nice to meet you. You're the worst at this.
My name is Wile.
I know your name.
Oh, no?
Terrible.
Okay.
We're skipping this part. Anyway, we get an x-ray, and then we get shipped to an emergency room. We are in the hospital for 12 hours in the emergency room, just waiting. Anyway, a doctor comes, sees us, and he tells me, the civilian that knows nothing, to take off.
A different doctor.
Not this one. We get handed off because he's not an emergency room doctor. Lovely. Get the x-ray. The guy comes in, takes a look, says, can you remove the bandage? So I remove the bandage, which I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Remove it. And then he takes a look. He says, yeah, it's infected. Okay. Please bandage again.
Hey, who invited Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah,
like,
he tells
me
to bandage it. And then I'm like...
What indicates the infection? The wound and swelling?
Yeah,
or the
I don't
pus?
know. And then he leaves right away. And I'm like, oh, so sorry. Like, I don't carry bandages in my back pocket, like, for an entire amputated toe. So I'm like, okay. So I start looking in the drawers because I'm very like, I guess I got to do it. And
okay.
so I
Might find a long line.
might find it. And so I started looking for bandages, and there's none. So I have to go find a nurse. And finally, after 2 hours, we get his foot bandaged. Then they start coming to take blood samples. He has terrible veins. We can't get a needle in, and it's a process. And then they asked me to assist with getting blood. No one is using gloves. Not a single nurse. And I am the civilian assisting taking blood. Okay? I've had 2 week-long courses of first aid. I'm not an idiot. Definitely not a doctor. So I'm helping get their blood vials and assisting and doing all the things. And nobody's wearing gloves. And I'm thinking, well, you don't know my uncle. He does not have HIV. We have tested him for it. Like in previous, they do blood tests. I know he doesn't have it. But you don't know he doesn't have it. And you're not wearing gloves.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And then I asked the
He's risking it all.
I say, hey, are you guys low on gloves? No, we have lots. Okay, all right, okay. So 12 hours later, he gets admitted into the hospital. Long story short, we're there for 3 weeks. Okay,
well, you're not there for 3 weeks.
He's in there for 3 weeks. I'm there almost every day, driving into Limbasa to see him. He's in a men's ward. I can't stay with him. Not that I'd want to, because that's kind of creepy staying in the hospital all night. But I'd probably do it if I could. So not so much driving, but there for 3 weeks. We're trying to find him a blood donor because he's at a level 4. He's almost dying. He starts not eating, which is a bad sign, right?
Yeah, that's true, hey?
I thought he was going to die in 2 days. He stopped eating, and I told him, you have to eat or you are going to die. And I was like, eat something while I'm here. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to die. So I'm between the doctor and the blood bank, and we're going back and forth. And they didn't want to risk giving him different blood types. Not blood types, sorry, that's wrong. He was O positive. And because he's had so many blood transfusions, this is what they've told me. And this could be wildly wrong because I'm not a doctor. But they told me because he's had so many blood transfusions and he hasn't produced enough of his own blood, it's complicated to get a match for him because his antibodies in the plasma wasn't matching. Okay? So eventually after 2 weeks, we get a match for him. And he's 2 days away from dying. He should be dead already or in a coma from his low blood levels, but he's just walking around. And then the last couple days.
He's a wild pig.
Dude, that guy is an animal. He's so strong. I don't know how he survived so far.
He heals like a wild pig.
He actually does. Yeah. I wish I could show you a picture of his foot right now. Anyway, we're in there. He gets blood transfusions. I'm missing the best part. We find the blood to match. I'm in the blood clinic. They give me the numbers of the actual blood and the people that donated. I bring it up to the doctor because communication is slow and I'm an impatient human being. So I'm running between departments trying to expedite this. And so I come upstairs. I'm like, we have blood. This is the number. Please confirm. Get the blood. Let's get it in him. His veins are so bad in his arm. We need to get an IV in his hip. Right? And then they say, we have no long line for an IV. They need a special IV to go into his hip. And they say, in the hospital, we have secret stashes. Secret stashes? Yeah. No, number one? No.
No secrets.
So they look around. They can't find their secret stash.
So she drives to Sabsabu, gets one that they had there, apparently, which is an hour and a half drive.
And we confirmed this. We confirmed it a couple times that it was the correct one.
Yeah, and then you came back and they'd given you the wrong one.
Wrong line.
3 hours of driving
and
later.
Then we lucked out. A nurse came on to shift, and I was complaining to him about, where can I get this? I was trying to solve this because I can see John's uncle's about to die. He's not eating. He has no blood.
6 feet away from you, there's a drawer cabinet.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, you know what? There's this secret stash I put last week, and probably right in the bed across from us. He opens the drawer. That line is right there, and I'm like, you guys and your secret stash, us happy, but also deep rage. So I was I'm excited, but I had to go take a break because I was between joy and I'm about to choke somebody out. So I just sat there being I'm so glad you're gonna live, but I'm so mad.
So what'd you learn?
What did I learn? I learned that if you want to get stuff done in the hospital, you need to be pushy. And they may hate you, but your family will survive.
Do you think there's good people in the healthcare system?
There is good people in the healthcare system.
Why do you think so many of them leave then?
I think there's more money overseas. I think there is actual care in the healthcare system. So right now, I think like what happens in the healthcare system? You have great people working. They have zero authority to make a decision. So if you're not empowered as an employee to make a decision and you can't actually do anything for your patient, that takes away a lot of like your initiative to get things done for them, right?
100%.
It causes laziness in the department.
We were at a thing the other day with the WHO. It was like a big meeting.
Yeah.
I think it was put on by WHO, right? Who? And that lady still never sent me her slideshow. She was like, "Oh, I'll send you your slideshow if you want my slideshow." They're trying to like talk about like how to fix like the healthcare system or like ideas for like helping fix community healthcare. And it's like, I don't know.
Well,
it seems hopeless when you go to these things.
It is not hopeless. It's just that it's from the top up. If
the top up, oh,
top down.
How are we going there? You're already at the top.
Government. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, people in authority that have power, when they leave the facility, they have to empower other people. So what we've experienced in the past is if you have an emergency on weekends or late at night in Fiji, you will just die.
Just cut your carotid artery and bleed out.
Well, because nobody can make a decision for you. You have to have approval.
And no, it's actually like that. Like if you...
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's what it seems.
And it's very hard. So people within the system need to be, if you're on shift or on call,
need to be empowered to make emergency decisions.
Yeah.
And if they cannot make those decisions, the person should be a phone call away.
Yeah.
To make the decision. Because
I think like most likely, like a lot of times you die on the weekend at night. And so in Fiji, it's very hard.
Yeah. Dude, I pray I get ill on a Monday. Just give me like a few days of leeway.
Monday morning though, you know?
Yeah, or like Sunday night.
Yeah.
Like you start going downhill.
Yeah,
You're
go
like,
downhill
oh,
Sunday morning, and then like 8 a.m. Monday morning, like roll in there.
No. Yeah.
You'll probably be okay. Like everybody's fresh from the weekend, ready to like solve your health crisis.
Oh yeah, so
like,
true.
They're like, I'm here to save the world. You're like, fix me first. Right?
Maybe that's how we solve it in Fiji.
No.
I'm also running for the next Minister of Health.
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah. But I think like
don't come in till Monday morning.
Don't come in.
Well, pretty much. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Well, okay, so let's not put all like the hate on the like medical system. Part of it is people are not compliant within. Okay, I say compliant because that's such a Fijian like terminology.
Is it?
Yeah. People when they
I don't know. I think we need to liaise more on this.
When they're told by their
that's a Fijian right there.
When they are like told by their doctor, this is how you need to eat. This is the medication that you need to take. This is how you change like your health.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Get the right meat from the butchery.
No.
That kind of stuff.
No. But I think part of the issue is there's two things. When we've been dealing with this for 4 years now because we have a lot of old people that have health issues. When we are told what to do, there's no explanation. There's no education. So I've taken John's uncle in and they've said, no more drinking kava. You have diabetes. And kava is a root that has zero sugar. It's all water-based. It is a mild narcotic, but it does not spike your sugar. What does spike your sugar is the sweets that they take with it to like take away like the mud taste, okay? In the consultation with the doctor, they say, you're not allowed to drink kava anymore, which John's uncle loves to drink kava. And so we sat down after his uncle left. I said, sorry, I need an explanation why he can't drink kava because he finds joy in this. And I can't totally tell him not to do it if I don't think it's logical. He said, well, it's not the kava, it's the chaser. And so that is what needs to be explained to the patient. It's not like, yeah, participate in the thing you like, but educationally, it's the sugar that spikes your disease that's wrong. So if you're going to do it, find an alternative chaser that does not spike your sugar.
Yep.
But the doctors have gotten so frustrated with patients not being compliant and following their directives that they've stopped educating. And so the education is really necessary. And
I think that it's gotten to the point to some extent where like people won't learn unless we just start chopping off limbs.
They're already doing that though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like people like they haven't been. The system doesn't allow them to educate in a way that actually like impacts people, and therefore they're just like, well, we've already told them, and they're not listening like citizens. So like when they come in, they have high blood pressure, chop the feet off.
Yeah,
If
well,
they get infection, chop the legs off.
that's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm saying.
say how often, I think like every 8 hours, a surgeon in Fiji chops someone's limb off. That's a very high rate. There's no solution. And even when we went in, just so we can wrap up the story
But
with John's uncle, let's just wrap that up. When we went in, we had a consultation. They said, actually, from your last surgery, there's a bone in there that's rotting. It's not you don't need to chop your leg. There's a bone in there that we missed when we chopped your toe off, and it's just kind of floating. It's rotting your foot. So we did another surgery after we managed to get more blood transfusions, and they took out that rotting bone, and it's actually healing really well. So that's kind of the wrap up of his medical story. That's going to be a continuous journey. But within like people and educating and chopping, I think the solution, and is very hard to come up with an actual accurate solution, is not saying to people, let's solve this crisis right now. It has to start with young people in school. It has to start with the generation that isn't already like too old to change.
Yeah.
It has to start with kindergarten and like young ages, and starting to educate them in food and health and like a mentality change. So the entire culture can be educated in actual like science-based, food-based health. And so I think you can't, like, once you're a certain age, like me and you were in our 30s, we have solidified an idea in our brains of like what health is and like what our ideals are and like things like that. It's hard to change it. Same with Fiji. They all have their like health standards and ideas of what their food intake should be and like what's important to them. Hard to change it. You can only make change in the youth. And if you don't want an entire country that's like under just like, hey, you have diabetes, let's chop your leg off and put a bandage and put you back into the wilderness and hope you survive. We want to actually like solve the problem and not have an entire country with diabetes. I think Fiji's like the second or the third worst in the entire world for diabetes. That's nuts. Like we're a blessed, this is a blessed country with like food in abundance. In like,
yeah, I think like education, like, but that also is hard because it takes this generation, or at least a new generation of teachers, to be like, hey,
yeah,
you can't bring that in your lunch, or like call the parents and be like, you can't bring those foods in your lunch anymore, or you can't pack those foods for your kids anymore. It's not allowed in school.
Well,
and then the parents would have to change. So education also combined with agriculture, and which, because you're getting involved agriculture, because we have to change what people eat. And people eat what they eat because everything is so cheap. And
the bad food is cheap.
Yeah, the bad food, the wrong food is cheap. So we need to make the right food cheap, and we need to, because everything that's cheap is not good for you. It's manufactured and highly processed. We're already in such a like price controlled environment that these companies need to be taxed so that they contribute to the system that harms people.
Yeah.
So that, or the system that actually like contributes to like the assistance of the people that they harm.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like tobacco companies like are so heavily taxed in a lot of countries, is because they, well, in a roundabout way, like they really owe a lot to the medical system because all these people show up with like gum, lip, and like lung cancer at the end of their lives. And so it's like, there's some companies who make some products that are okay to be consumed once in a while, but like you can't be eating instant noodles every day. Yeah. Like it's just, well, it also end up being not good for you.
Well, and we talk about this kind of stuff with our friends all the time, and it's so hard because you never land on like a perfect solution. The one thing I was talking to someone about the other day is like in Seven Eyes class, he's in kindy. He came home and he told me, Mom, roti is healthy. Chocolate is not healthy. And I said, okay, but like, that's true. But that's not a well-rounded picture. If you eat 10 roti, it's not healthy. Right? You have to have like a full, like the education system can't just be like good, bad, good, bad. It has to be a well-rounded picture of like, this is how much roti you could have, but you should also have your vegetables, right? Like
Yeah, but the problem is the teachers don't know, so it takes a whole new generation of teaching staff, teaching teachers what to teach.
And I think like something that I think in the future, like,
So you know what? Screw it. Let's just eat what we
not
want.
screw it, no.
I don't even. Let's just go move on because I feel like hopeless with this situation. Because actually, the healthcare workers are pretty awesome people, and like it's not fair for people like us to like be like sitting in our chairs in our living room and like judging, and that's not what we're trying to do.
No, I think
And it's not an easy thing to solve.
It's good to talk about it. I think it's good to air it out. I think it's good for people to have conversations around it. Hate on us. That's great. It makes the conversation go further because people need to start talking about solutions. Because we're only two people, and when we talk about solutions, our solutions are, only go so far. We're in a box, and maybe someone will actually come up with a solution that does something. And we can keep talking about it so more influential people can do something about it. Because I think Fiji is such a beautiful country, and for the fact that people are not educated in their health and like don't have long, beautiful lives is sad. And that's up to like the country to, benefit or further themselves in that. And so it's dear and dear to our hearts because we've been dealing with it for quite a while. And it's frustrating being in the system. We see the great and the bad and the ugly, and it's just kind of all mixed in. And I think we come from a really, amazing healthcare system in Canada. So it's very hard coming from one of the like top healthcare systems in the entire world into a system in Fiji that's, I don't know what it would be ranked, but it's definitely not the top.
Well, Canada has its weaknesses too.
Well, for sure it does. 100% it does. But it's just difficult to kind of, I'm not comparing, I'm just saying you see that things
So you can get your feet chopped off or you can give away half of your income every year to taxes. It's like, what do you want? You can choose to live happy and healthy, or you can literally have just over half of your income taken away by the government so they can pay for your free healthcare and your perfect roads and all that kind of crap.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah.
I know. Anyway, it's better. Oh, I see. So we have our game. It's Couples Edition. What is this game called?
You don't remember, do you? We're not really strangers.
I was going to say something strangers.
This is our game. It's called Couples Edition. What is the game called?
The back says, what's more romantic than being understood? The Couples Edition is an invitation to better understand who your partner is today, not just the person you met them as. There's only one rule while playing. Honest answers only. Ready? ?
Okay.
Anyway, I picked out two.
Okay.
You read them.
What could other couples learn from us? I don't even know if I want to ask that question. That's
I do.
gross.
I think it's great. I think it's funny. I would say they can't learn that much from us because we fight all the time. But I will say the one thing that we do well is we fight and then we let it go. Like John and I fight often.
Yeah.
All because we do business together. We don't just like.
But we love so hard.
No.
So hard.
So what? I'm just saying like we do. Actually, I won't say we. I will say John is very good at saying sorry and being a leader in that.
It's your boy.
Yeah. I suck at saying sorry. It's taken me a long time to be good at. Not good. It's taken me a long time to like sometimes apologize.
Yeah.
It's true.
Sure.
I hate apologizing. I don't like it. I feel justified in my anger. It's reality.
You're a total person.
I'm just saying what's true. I'm
know,
not pretending. It is what it is. And you?
What could
No. You didn't even answer the question.
What?
Answer the first question.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking it to myself because you want to ask me. What
I am
could
sorry.
other couples learn from us? I would probably say, there's just so many things. I'm just trying to pick the best one. I mean, we're so... I'm just kidding. Maybe just we're an example of like what it looks like when you just go for your dreams and make a lot of mistakes along the way.
And what's the question?
What could other couples learn from us?
And what can they learn about that?
No, that just like you don't have to have every single thing perfect in life. And even if like you're at a stage in life where you're comfortable, like life is for living, not for existing. Oh, oh, that's good. That's good.
He definitely heard that.
Quote that one.
Somebody else.
No, I didn't. I just came up with that.
It's like I feel like that's a very like put it on like a Hallmark card. He just read it yesterday or something.
No, I didn't. I just came up with that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm so
wise.
I know. But yeah, that's enough of that. You can't actually really learn that much from us, except for just
wear pink,
do risky things, and wear watermelon shirts. What goal would feel best for those of you who are not watching and you are listening? Pink. I'm wearing like an obnoxiously kind of noisy watermelon shirt. He was just trying to match my hair. He just like got on this podcast. He's like, how can we be such a cute couple and wear like an outfit to match my hair? I feel like when I'm on this podcast, I feel like I kind of am a different character. I feel like almost like a character. Why? I don't know. I feel like being like cocky or something like that. Like kind of being like snarky and cocky. Yeah, you do get in those moods though. This morning you were being so annoying. Like I was trying to talk to you and like Tui and Karoy were around and you were just making like some like smart comments and I was like, okay, I'm not here for the show. I'm out. Oh no, but I was trying to say something to you and I can't remember. What goal would you feel best for? What goal would feel best for you to accomplish this year? How can I support you in that? Well, it's kind of the end of the year, hey? A little late for this question, but. How are you going to wrap up the year? Me? Yeah. Well, I feel like we have a really good opportunity to make a killing, like in the next, like financially, in the next week. So that's how I would. Is there anything going to be like make a killing or like literally make a killing? Like we will die to ourselves. It's one or the other. There's some stress with that. What else would I wrap? Maybe a big present for you. I got myself a present today. Oh, you did? I did. You did? I got myself the most ghetto row machine you've ever seen in your life. It is a ghetto. Like, you know, like if you've ever been in a gym and you have like those like row machines. Like a Concept 2 rower? Yeah. Beautiful. Ooh. Lovely. Smooth. Love a good Concept 2. I got mine for $200. And it is literally like a pogo stick that you have to like rip down. And it is not good. You rip that pogo stick. You do. Rip it. But it was $200, and I was like, I don't have this money, so I'm not going for the fancy one. It's all good. One. If you're ripping pogo sticks for workout, Tui has the stupidest face on right now, and if he has like that, like stop making dirty jokes face. Really? Yeah, look at him. It's just I don't notice. Difficult. I don't see color. You know, only racist people say I don't see color, right? Anyways, what goal would feel? That's what she said. What? What? What goal would feel best for you to accomplish this year? How can you support me? How can I support you? Yeah. In my goal? No, so you're supposed to ask me the question. This doesn't work very well. I'm trying to like reverse the question on myself. What goal would you feel best for you to accomplish this year? How can I support you in that? There's been some like exciting conversations that have happened right at the end of this year for me. Okay. That I would like to put into motion or just like get some more clarification on. There's one with a gentleman who's a potential investor in one of our businesses. And so, yeah, you know, like when you're just waiting to have conversations and it just time zones and stuff. And it's just feeling like it's all like coming to this point where it's like, we just need to have these conversations. Yeah. And also had an awesome meeting in Suva last week with a really, really successful person that, you know, is interested in what we're doing. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So how can I support you in that? Just move out of my way. Let Big Daddy roll. Gator wants some space. Yeah. Get away from me. But Gator don't play no games.
You haven't watched that movie? Just shut down this podcast and move on with your life. You don't want to be here for this.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
This was a real question.
Oh.
You're so annoying. How can I support you in that? Finish the conversation and then shut it.
I think you cannot be so apprehensive of conversations that I'm having right now.
Okay.
And like, you're so worried about like being someone's little snitch that like you're like really hesitant to like talk to people or like have conversations. And like all it is like we're having a conversation.
I'm fine, but like, okay, so John met this person that he's like, oh, this could be a potential like great business relationship.
Not for the money.
No.
Not even for the money.
I did not meet this person.
You should have met them.
I should have, but I didn't. And so within Fiji, anything that has been exciting or like a great
I see what you're saying.
moment for us has actually been really disappointing.
Or it just lets you down.
It lets me down. And I am a very like, if I'm on board, I am a 10,000% on board. I'm more on board than 100%. Okay?
That's not possible.
It
like,
is.
Simple mathematics don't allow that.
I'm beyond mathematics.
Okay.
And so if
Jesus.
I'm going to be on board with something, I have to be very on board. And if I'm not on board with it, you feel it. And that's what you're feeling right now. If I'm on board with it, I will have my hopes dashed. Okay. And so you either have like, I'm super stoked and I will be destroyed when it doesn't happen, or I'm skeptical as heck until it does happen. And for me, it's safer right now to be skeptical.
You're like side eyes, wiener dog.
Because I'm not going to be 1,000% in until it's actually in motion. And then I will be like the cheerleader. That's fine.
But right now,
you're
like skeptical house meme. You know the house roof that's like looking all skeptical?
Oh yeah.
If you guys look that up, it's like
that's me.
I think a skeptical house roof meme.
Yeah, I'm like, we'll see. We shall see. It's like so the deep side of this, the really deep side of this.
Dude, go deep.
You told me we might pivot directions completely.
Oh no.
No, just listen to this.
You're hearing it wrong then.
No, but listen to this.
Oh, I'm listening.
Like, I might pivot to do this. And I was thinking, even with like the next coffee shop, I was thinking, okay, am I willing to give up all my ambition and my personal goals, nothing to do with you, and like go with John's personal goals?
You're talking about breaking up or something?
No, I'm saying, I was thinking to myself, am I willing to give up my own ambition?
Well, the answer is yes.
My own like goals.
Because you love me?
For what John wants. I'll say it is a struggle. It's like, yes, it's a yes, but it's also like, I'm not a good housewife. I suck at that. If you're like, if you're like this, if you're like, stay home, homeschool the kids, clean the house, it is not interesting enough for me. And if the bar is low, I will achieve a very low bar. Like your house will be barely clean. And I will barely scrape together dinner. Because I'll be so bored out of my mind that I'll just be like, it's pasta again. We could have pasta every day. Because it's no challenge. Cook. It's not a good challenge.
But
I'll struggle.
Yeah.
So that's
polygamy is illegal. So
you know what?
I saw a guy with 2 wives the other day. When I was at the bar.
You know what? Hell no.
I was at the bar. What is it called? The Woods in town.
Okay.
And this guy walks in. He has 2 wives. And I'm like, like one is definitely like the one that he would choose,
over the other
for hugs and stuff like that. And then the other one is probably the one that, is really good at like looking after the house, looking after the kids that he has with the other wife. And I'm like, that looks really complicated. Oh. Like he like walks in and I'm like, dang, okay. Like that's like.
Let me tell you a juicy story. I'm in the hospital with Uncle. Okay. We're like sitting there.
Oh yeah.
And there's a guy across from us.
Guy gets 2 visitors.
He's got both legs chopped off from his diabetes. Okay. He's sitting there, no legs.
All right. Okay.
His wife is bringing him 3 meals a day because he refuses to eat hospital food. Okay. Oh. This is the dedicated.
But he's picky.
First wife. Okay. He has 11 children. Half are with her, half are with the other woman. Okay.
Wow.
Uncle's telling me this. Well, they're sitting across from us, and I don't know if they can hear us. But he's saying to me, oh, yeah, my friend here is telling me that he has 2 wives. And the other wife the other day, the first wife, the number 1 wife that brings this guy food, dotes on him, all this stuff. He was like, yeah, but my other wife with all the kids. And she's like, what other wife? And he's like, you know about her. Don't even pretend. She's been here all along. Like, he's like telling
awkward.
the first wife, like, you already know about the second wife and all my kids. Like, suck it up.
Whoa.
And he's got no legs. And I'm like, dude, this girl has 11 children, 2 wives, and no legs.
Dude, that guy is gifted in the right place.
I don't know.
He must be a really nice guy.
I don't know, but
Yeah, he's still, yeah.
he's got 1 leg
He's
left.
got 1 leg.
And if they threaten to chop it off, maybe he'd change his diet. But
Sure.
do you know what? Maybe that's the solution for male diabetics. We'll just be like, we can't chop your foot. We'll chop.
No, but high blood pressure never affects the penis.
No, but like if you threaten that, maybe they'd eat differently. Who knows?
It's true.
Anyway, I just thought that's impressive. You have no legs, but you got it going on. So
It's true.
yeah, that was kind of like the gossip within the hospital. You know, you're in there for so long. You know all the deets. You got it. Everybody, and even when today we went in to do like the blood work, everybody saw Uncle Caminelli's name and they're like, Caminelli, he's alive. They had to work so hard because this crazy white woman was like, where's the blood? Blah, 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 blah. Just being so annoying. But they were like, he is alive. And everybody was so proud of him for surviving. You could see like the joy. They were like, Caminelli, we did it for him. And I was like, yeah, guys, thank you. Thank you. They worked hard for that one. So.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, this has been our podcast. It's been sponsored by Fresh Tea and Coffee. We will be at the 7th-day Adventist camp all next week, so we're going to be shut down. If this is released late, don't worry about it. We're going to post it on social media when that's happening. We're excited, and you'll hear if we're either broke or we can afford a Christmas party for ourselves. So.
Oh, we going Sizzler. Peace.